Imagine a secret chamber hidden for thousands of years, lying just beneath the surface of one of the world's most iconic monuments. What if the very government sworn to protect it refuses to let anyone, even scientists, take a peek inside? For centuries, the Great Sphinx of Giza has stood as a silent guardian, its lion's body and human head staring out across the sands of time. It's a colossal mystery carved from living rock, a monument that has whispered tales of forgotten eras and hidden knowledge to generations of humanity. But what if the deepest secret of the Sphinx isn't just in its age or its gaze, but in something buried within its very core? What if there's a room, a chamber, an undiscovered space that the Egyptian authorities simply refuse to open, even as modern technology begs to peer inside? This isn't just speculation. It's a persistent, burning question that has fueled archaeologists, mystics, and thrill seekers for decades, leading to a standoff between ancient secrets and modern curiosity. The idea of a hidden room inside the Sphinx isn't some New Age fantasy. It's a thread that runs through history, woven into the very fabric of archaeological exploration. Even back in the 19th century, early investigators, armed with far less sophisticated tools than we have today, suspected that the Sphinx might hold more than meets the eye. They looked at its massive form, its deliberate carving, and wondered if the ancient Egyptians, master builders and secret keepers, had designed something more complex than just a surface sculpture. These early suspicions were often dismissed as romantic notions, the fevered dreams of explorers seeking glory. But as technology advanced, those notions started to gain some real scientific backing. Fast forward to the modern era, and we're no longer relying on educated guesses or the tap of a hammer on stone. Today, we have tools that can see through solid rock without disturbing a single grain of sand. Techniques like ground-penetrating radar or GPR have become the archaeologist's X-ray vision. And when GPR was aimed at the Sphinx, it started to reveal some truly fascinating and deeply puzzling results. Across several independent surveys, using various non-invasive methods, including seismic soundings and electrical resistivity tests, researchers began detecting anomalies. What are anomalies? Think of it like this. If you're looking at a solid block of wood with a scanner, and suddenly the scanner shows a hollow space inside, that's an anomaly. And the Sphinx, this ancient behemoth, started showing multiple such anomalies. These weren't just vague blips. They were distinct areas that suggested voids, pockets, or even entire rooms within the limestone structure. One of the most talked about locations for these potential voids is directly beneath the Sphinx's left paw. Imagine a space roughly the size of a small chamber, just meters below the surface. Other readings have indicated similar structures around the head and body. These aren't just one-off readings. Multiple independent teams from countries like Japan, America, and Egypt itself have reported similar findings over the years. Each time, the excitement within the archaeological community and among history enthusiasts flares up. What could these spaces be? Why are they there? This is where the debate truly kicks off. Are these simply natural formations, quirks of the limestone bedrock from which the Sphinx was carved? Geology isn't perfectly uniform, and sometimes natural pockets and cracks can exist. Or are these deliberate man-made constructions skillfully hidden by the ancient builders? The distinction is crucial. If they are natural, They might be interesting geological features, but hold no great human secret. If they are constructed, however, the implications are staggering. Proponents of the secret room theory point to the known ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. They built pyramids with elaborate internal passages, hidden burial chambers, and false entrances. Why would the Sphinx, a monument just as grand and perhaps even more symbolic, be any less complex? Many believe these potential rooms could hold invaluable artifacts, undisturbed for millennia. Imagine finding papyrus scrolls detailing astronomical observations, philosophical texts, or even the true purpose of the Sphinx itself. Some even speculate about finding records that could completely rewrite our understanding of ancient Egyptian history, perhaps pushing back timelines or revealing connections to other forgotten civilizations. Others theorize that the Sphinx wasn't just a statue, but served a much deeper symbolic purpose. Could these chambers have been repositories of knowledge, a kind of ancient library or archive? Or perhaps they were symbolic gateways, part of a larger, now lost ritual complex. The idea of a hall of records, an ancient library holding the wisdom of a lost civilization, has captured the imagination of many. This concept was famously popularized by figures like Edgar Cayce, the American sleeping prophet, who in trance spoke of a chamber beneath the Sphinx containing historical records of humanity's past. While Cayce's prophecies are not scientific evidence, they have certainly fueled the public's fascination with the Sphinx's hidden depths. The evidence from these non-invasive surveys is compelling enough to warrant further investigation, to at least drill a small borehole, perhaps insert a camera. But this is where the mystery deepens and frustration sets in for many researchers. Despite the tantalizing data, the Egyptian government, through its Ministry of Antiquities, has consistently refused to allow any intrusive exploration of these anomalies. This unwavering refusal is the core of the enigma, making people wonder, what are they so afraid of finding or not finding? The official explanation from the Egyptian authorities is always rooted in preservation. And it's a valid concern, to be fair. The Sphinx is incredibly fragile. It's not a solid block of granite. It's carved from a relatively soft, layered limestone that has been exposed to the harsh desert elements for thousands of years. Wind, sand, humidity, and the sheer passage of time have caused significant erosion and damage. The monument has undergone numerous repairs and restorations throughout its history, with entire sections of its body having been patched up. Even a seemingly small intrusion, like drilling a core sample, could potentially disrupt its delicate internal structure. Imagine drilling into a building that's thousands of years old and already shows signs of stress. A small crack could quickly turn into a major structural problem. Opening a chamber, even carefully, could expose ancient, stable air to modern humidity and pollutants, causing rapid decay of whatever might be inside. Papyrus, textiles, or even delicate carved reliefs could crumble to dust almost instantly. The cost and complexity of a controlled excavation would be astronomical, requiring not just archaeologists, but structural engineers, climate control specialists, and conservators, all working under immense pressure. There's a real fear that in an attempt to uncover a secret, they might inadvertently destroy the monument itself. It's a valid argument one that many responsible archaeologists would agree with. They believe that if we open it, we must do so with the utmost care, and only when we are absolutely certain we can preserve what's inside. However, beyond the purely scientific and structural concerns, there are significant political and cultural factors at play. The Sphinx isn't just an ancient artifact, it's a potent symbol of Egyptian heritage, national pride, and a major driver of tourism. It's perhaps the most recognizable icon of Egypt to the world. Any major excavation project around it would be under intense global scrutiny, and the potential outcomes could have far-reaching effects. Consider the risk of disappointing findings. What if, after all the hype, all the GPR readings, they open a chamber only to find it empty? Or worse, filled with natural rock formations that fooled the sensors? The public outcry, the media frenzy, and the sheer embarrassment could be a massive blow to Egypt's image, not to mention a colossal waste of resources. It could lead to a loss of public trust in archaeological endeavors and dampen enthusiasm for future discoveries. Then there's the risk of what could be found. What if something is discovered that challenges established historical narratives? What if the contents of a hidden room suggest a different origin for the Sphinx, or reveal information that contradicts the accepted timeline of ancient Egyptian civilization? Such revelations, while exciting for science, could be deeply unsettling for a nation that has carefully curated its history for the world. Historical narratives, especially those tied to national identity, are often fiercely protected. Rewriting history based on a single discovery, even an earth-shattering one, is a complex process that governments often approach with extreme caution. It could spark endless academic debates, invite more fringe theories, and generally create a PR nightmare that Egypt might simply want to avoid. The Egyptian government has always sought to carefully manage the flow of information regarding its ancient sites, aiming to protect its national image and its vital tourism industry. Uncontrolled speculation, misinformation, or sensationalist claims following a controversial discovery could do more harm than good in their eyes. They want to maintain control over the narrative, presenting a unified, authoritative view of their history. This approach, while frustrating for those eager for discovery, is understandable from a governmental perspective, trying to safeguard a national treasure and its economic interests. Ultimately, the room inside the Sphinx remains one of the world's great archaeological cold cases. The evidence suggests something is there. The allure of untold secrets beckons, but the doors remain firmly shut. Whether out of genuine concern for preservation, fear of the unknown, or a desire to maintain a controlled historical narrative, Egypt continues to guard its silent secret. So, the next time you gaze upon the magnificent Sphinx, remember, its mysteries might not just be ancient history, but a very present, hotly debated secret, waiting patiently beneath its colossal paws. If you're fascinated by the hidden wonders of the ancient world, you'll want to check out our next video on the secrets of the Giza Plateau.